ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Psychosin project here on Total Metal Radio, and joining me today is the rather excellent lead singer of the band, Van Halst, the one and only Kami Van Halst. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. Now, you've recently released your debut album, World of Make Believe, which I reviewed on my YouTube channel I think it's about a month ago now. I've personally really enjoyed it. I've been playing a couple of tracks on my show. How have you found it's been received by your fans and other critics?
Thus far, it's been received really well, actually. We're super excited that people are enjoying it as much as they are.
Excellent, excellent. Now, how long did it take you to write the album?
In total, we spent probably a year and a half compiling, a choice of chunk of songs to choose from. Probably about a year and a half of writing.
So it took a while to sort of get it down to about 11, 12 songs for the album then.
Yeah.
Now, why did you choose the song Save Me to be the first song from the album, first single, sorry?
We thought Save Me would give a really good introduction to the band. It's got a couple different elements that we use. I wanted something that showcased a variety of vocal techniques and something that kind of came out with a punch and a very strong message to introduce the band to the world.
Yeah, definitely. Now, as you've just said, something with a punch. Obviously, throughout the album, you use some heavier vocals that bring to mind a bit of an Arch Enemy vibe in there, along with the more melodic vocals. What was it that brought the more heavier vocals into the songs?
Well, when we finished the songs, they were kind of, alternative rock, maybe hard rock vibe, but something was missing. It sounded like something that's been done to death already, and then I recently, while we were writing it, got into some heavier bands, like In This Moment, and like you said, Arch Enemy, and had some of those other influences, but, and I thought, hey, I could do that, so I spent a year and learned how to do it properly, and then we added them into the songs and felt that that's just what they needed.
So do you feel for the future that vocally it might get a bit heavier for the songs, or?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, the World of Make Believe was kind of me learning and experimenting a lot with my voice when it comes to extreme vocals. Now that I have a good handle on it and I'm playing a bit more, I'd like to add some more heavy elements for sure.
Excellent. Well, obviously it's the debut album, so you got to sort of get it out there, get your name out there, then build on that, haven't you? And now, what influences the music of the band?
We come from a variety of influences. I mean, it's no secret that we like to talk about a variety of social justice issues in our lyrical content. For sure, we think it's important to raise awareness and say things that maybe other people are afraid to talk about. And then musically, each band member has different influences. Like I said, I love Maria Brake from In This Moment. I love Shinedown, Motionless in White. Some of the guys are really into Opeth and Dream Theater, so it gives us a really neat kind of eclectic mix of influences lyrically and musically.
Yeah, I mean, I could hear some of that coming through. You did have a slight progressive edge to some of the songs. Baby's in there with your heavier vocals as well.
Yeah, I do like them for sure.
Now, you've said briefly about what influences the lyrics there, about it being social justice and all that. Is there anything else that influences the lyrics to your songs?
Really just our everyday experiences. We're not really a band that writes a lot about partying or love songs per se, but there's a little bit of that in there, and definitely the stuff we're writing now touches on that a little bit more. But really just kind of what we notice in the world every day. It could be in the newspaper, on TV, on the streets, whatever hits us.
Well, as you said, you wanted to help make the band sort of stand out a bit as time goes on, instead of sounding like everyone else. Now, talk about that. How would you yourself describe the band's current sound?
We call it a bit of a hard rock metal fusion. We don't quite fit in the alternative hard rock mold, but we don't quite fit in the heavy metal, extreme metal mold. So we've kind of created our own little fusion sound in between.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll detect a little bit of a goth influence in there as well, just a tiny amount.
For sure. Yeah.
I think that might be through your vocals because, as I think I pointed out in my review, you do sound a little bit like Amy Lee sometimes.
I do. I definitely do. Yeah, can't shy away from that one.
Yeah, I'm hoping obviously that doesn't hold you back and have a load of people expecting you to sound like Evanescence, because having heard the album, you're quite far away from that sound.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Evanescence. I'm a big fan of Amy Lee, and we definitely have similar tones in our voice. That's another reason I chose to add the heavier vocal and learn that, so that it did give me something else that sets us apart from them for sure.
Excellent. Now, what can people expect from when they go and see a Van Halst live show?
Well, it's going to be very loud.
It's always a good start.
Yeah, it's great. Each band member is full of energy. We're definitely not boring to watch, and I like to think that we're very interactive. So people receive us very well in our live performance. The sound is there. You know, everybody plays and sings the part live. We don't rely heavily on tracks, so you're going to see a real performance from a band. Yeah,
that's something that's definitely needed these days. So you're basically saying you're more of an audience-focused band rather than just putting on a show for yourselves. Yeah, all about getting the audience involved and getting them hopefully singing along with you.
Yeah.
Which, if I ever see you live, I'll do, and I'll apologise in advance for my terrible singing voice.
Oh, no worries. We're happy when people sing along.
Now, what are the plans for the future of the band?
This year, we're doing some heavy touring across Canada, and we'll be moving into the States for the fall.
Yeah.
As I had said, you know, we're playing around with some new writing ideas, but really just trying to push World of Make-Believe as far as it'll go.
Yeah.
And hopefully come up with some really neat touring opportunities for Europe after we're done with Canada and the first leg of the States.
I'm quite glad to see that, hear that, so consider I'm in the UK myself. So,
Europe's been very good to us thus far, so we definitely want to get over there.
I'll do my best, what can I say? Now, if you do, obviously, when you get to the States, if you're in Texas, and you get to choose your own support bands, I can recommend a band called Versus Our Master. Very, very good. If you can get them on the support, they'd be eternally grateful to you.
Right on.
Check them out, really, really good. Same sort of vocals as yourself, but they're a bit more sort of goth influenced as well. Now, how did the band form? I know it might be going back a bit here.
But yeah, it's going back a bit, and it's quite a complex story. You know, Scott and I have known each other for a really long time, since I was about 12, so longer than half my life. And you know, while him and I were writing and working on some of these tracks, we were looking for a drummer who could kind of handle the heavier sound, and you know, met with a few different people, and Scott's a producer, and he happened to be recording a project for somebody else where Brett, our drummer, was hired to play, and Scott and him really got along, and so he brought Brett into the group, and then I met our bass player through a program here in Toronto. Right. So we kind of got everybody together, and everybody jived really well, and the writing's really well. The chemistry is good, so that's kind of the nutshell version of how Van Halst came to be.
Excellent, excellent. So how long has the band been going for now, just out of interest?
With this lineup, it's been less than a year.
Right.
With the project as a whole, about 2 years.
Excellent, excellent. Not bad to come out with an album, debut album as strong as World of Make Believe in under 2 years. I mean, you look at some of the more established acts who have been going for years, and they can't come out with anything that good anymore. So hopefully you can keep that higher watermark level on your future albums.
Yeah, hopefully it just gets better.
Now I've got to ask this. You mentioned hopefully you can get into Europe either later in the year or next year. I apologise for my mic.
No worries.
Now I've got to ask, any chance we can see you in the UK soon?
We're definitely working on it. We'd like to get over there sooner rather than later. Just kind of weighing some festival ideas and chatting with promoters and seeing what we can come up with.
Yeah, again, if you can get over here, I'll do all I can to help promote it myself. And again, I might have a couple of support bands if you need any suggestions for that as well. Now, obviously, it's your first album that's come out. what you're hoping that this album will do for the band.
We're really hoping that this album opens some doors for us and gets us on people's radar.
Yep.
Again, being a debut album, we're not really shooting for the stars, as great as that would be. I feel that we're a very realistic group and have a good business sense, and if it can open some doors to some labels and some management and some touring opportunities, then to us it'll be a success.
Yeah. Well, in the end, I mean, the slow burn is probably better for bands these days than having that one massive single, then you get like half the fan base suddenly disappear when your next song comes out or something because they don't like it anymore. So really, you're going the better option. Now, what is it about the sound of the band that you feel makes Van Halst unique?
I think that the different influences that we draw from really makes the group unique. Like I said, each band member has a very different style of playing and a very different influence.
Yeah.
And I like to think that our songs are strong vocally. There's a lot of things that I try and make my voice do, and I've worked really hard on it for a really long time to give it a few different dimensions. And I think that that definitely helps us, especially with other female-fronted bands. We automatically sound different because my voice can change quite quickly, and with the guys singing behind me as well as they do with the harmonies, it's kind of the whole vocal package, I like to think. And then just our lyrical content in general being a little different from what some of the other bands around talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite nice to have a sort of female-fronted band come out that isn't another band trying to be, say, Nightwish or another Within Temptation or something like that. It's a bit overflooded, that market, so it's good to hear a band coming out with something a bit different. Now, here's a question for you, obviously, but in an ideal world, if you could set up a tour with, obviously, Van Halst in it, but what would be, if you had another 4 bands you could choose out of everyone in the world, who would you want to play with?
4 bands?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I would love to tour with Shinedown. They are my favorite for so many reasons. In this moment, for sure, I know the guys would love to play with Dream Theater. And even a band like the Butcher Babies would be so much fun because they just seem like a great band. I love their sound, and I feel like our fan base would be the same, but we're different enough that it would be different. I think they'd be a blast to tour with.
It'd be interesting if you ever got to do a sort of duet thing with them as well.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And if that tour happens, I'm there. I don't care what country it's in. I'm going.
Perfect.
Anyway, finally, is there anything you would like to say to your fans, both old and new?
We just want to say thanks for the support thus far, and we're glad that everybody's really enjoying the album, and we're booking as many shows as we can, trying to get in as many different countries as we can, and hopefully everybody will be able to come out and enjoy the live performance as well.
Excellent. Well, Kami, thank you very much for your time tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Kami from Van Halst. Go check out their debut album. It's called World of Make Believe, and it's out now. Go check out their Facebook page for details on how to order it.